Hello guys, this is Vaish. So the Hindu editorial of December 26th, we had done till December 25 and we had to stop it because of some reasons, and now we'll try to continue it again. So adaptation versus mitigation is something which you will keep hearing. These two terms often comes in the editorials in environment lectures and all, but still many students don't know the basic definitions or difference between the two terms. Okay, mitigation is what you often hear, okay, in all the UNFCCC summit or the COP conferences and all, and that is basically reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, meaning basically you are trying to prevent something from happening. Okay, you are mitigating it, you are trying to reduce it, you are shifting to renewable energy, you are doing all that clean system so that the global things, the greenhouse gases reduces, the global warming reduces. So that effort is called mitigation. Okay, adaptation is something where you know that it has already happened. The global warming or the greenhouse gases is already high. So now how to adapt to it, how to adapt to this adverse effect of climate change. Okay, for that you have to build defense systems for yourself, like infrastructure project. If you're in a coastal area, you have to build this flood barriers, and also that it prevents the water level rise. So whatever you do to prevent or not prevent, to actually take care of the bad things which already happened, that is called adaptations. Okay, you're trying to adapt to that situation. So this picture will give you more clarity. Like mitigation, as I told, it's like you are shifting to renewable energy, you are doing more efficient process in industries, eco-friendly transportation, eating less meat, and also these and all will reduce the global warming and greenhouse gases. Okay, and here in adaptation, you are trying to do something like in the coastal areas and all, as I told, you are trying to build some barriers and all, or in the urban spaces also you are doing that. You know, Chennai floods happened and all these things are happening regularly. Okay, so you cannot now prevent it, it will again and happen. So you have to do the adaptation. Okay, you have to survey the species and the environment and all these things. You have to do agricultural practices and species, that also you have to adapt to the new way of the globe. Okay, new way of the world. So these are the basic things or basic definition. And why I told you is because in today's article also we will discuss about adaptation in detail. That is the reason. Okay, then again one more body which maybe most of you would not be learning, African Group of Negotiators. Okay, AGN. This is a you can tell a body or a group which was established in 1995. Okay, and still you won't find this in textbooks and all, but it keeps coming in the news every time. This is again an alliance of African member states. It was formed in the COP1. Okay, if you don't know what is COP means Conference of Party. Okay, Conference of Party. So for every UN summits, like we have this UN FCC, okay, the United Nations Framework for Climate Change, or we have UN CCD, okay, that is the Convention for Combating Desertification. These two are different things. Okay, UNFCCC, and both have its own COP. Okay, COP is just a conference which happens, so it will be like COP1, COP2, COP3. It will keep happening. Now the latest UNFCCC's COP is COP 28, which happened in Dubai. So same like that, COP1, okay, which happened in Berlin, Germany. In that first COP1 itself, African people had made something called African Group of Negotiators. There is nothing but a group which will draft the text, write the speeches, and everything what the head of state and government has to present in the during the COP summits, that will be prepared by this group. Okay, they are the ones who make all the protocols. Everything has to be adopted. See, LGS declaration. You don't have to remember all these things, but this African, whenever they have this African Environmental Ministry or Climate Change Department, whatever they have to go and present it in different COP summit, that will be prepared by this African Group of Negotiators. Okay, so this again today's paper, this term will come. That's why I thought I will explain this to you first before even going to the article. Okay, so this again, since its formation, this AGN has played a significant role, whether it is the Durban negotiations or then this Paris Agreement, which is the most famous, which was COP 21, which happened in 2015. Okay, that was the most famous one in the recent times. So their adaptation of this INDC, or whether a global goal for adaptation, this we will discuss today. So this and all was proposed in the Paris summit again by the AGN. Okay, so that is why it is very significant. See, again another initiative is African Renewable Energy Initiative, African Adaptation Initiative. So wherever the term adaptation, if you see, okay, and Africa you see, that would have been drafted by this AGN. Okay, that is the summary point you can tell regarding this. So now very quickly you understood what is adaptation, what is mitigation, and what is African this negotiators group. Okay, so three things we studied before even going to the Hindu editorial. Okay, so now we will see the Hindu articles, like why we are discussing this. So here you can see the global goal on adaptation. Okay, so that is again taken up, which was introduced in the COP21. It's again taken up in the recent COP28, and that we will discuss. Okay, and here if you see debt debate, this is about India's debt to GDP ratio. IMF made a comment and India has given reply to that. So that we will discuss. Okay, and here it is about like in the new IPC, new IPC which is being made, or CRPC which is made, in that the debate going on whether if a doctor's negligence happens and a death happens, whether that doctor should be punished or whether it's like a fine alone is enough or he should be put in jail. So that discussion and debate is going on. That final, when the bill properly is there with you, you can read all the clauses, else this article you don't need to read, okay, because it's like a debate format. Article 370 we have discussed multiple times. Here it is USA China internal affairs, here it is Telangana's local news, and here RBI's one survey, okay, urban confidence survey, consumer confidence. That just you remember RBI publishes this, okay, nothing else is important. So we'll discuss these two articles today as part of the Hindu editorial, okay. And I hope by this time you all have give me your details of where I have to send the goodies for you. Okay, pack 4 and pack 5 is the people who have like for urgent basis asked you, because phase 1 you will be getting the hoodies or notebooks or laptops or maybe all 3. It depends on how you are enrolled with us. Are you a prelim student alone? Are you a prelims plus main student? Different categories people will get different number of goodies. Okay, so that is going on. So please contact in WhatsApp and give me the details. Okay, and again 2024 exam if you are giving. Now you have 132 days timetable starting from January 15th. That is 1 more week is left before the timetable starts. WhatsApp immediately and join this. If you feel like you want to give this exam itself, meaning 2024 itself you want to clear, means you have to come and contact now. Okay, because the discounts, offers, installments, everything will get over now. If it's 2025, again you have to contact in the same number only. And but that has a lot of time. Okay, meaning 575 day timetable is there. So no matter when you join, you still will have a lot of time. Okay, and for the WhatsApp channel also, same number. Okay, come and contact the same number. I will add you there, and make sure you are studying current affairs. Okay, lot of questions will come from current affairs equal to the subject also. Don't think both are different. Subjects also will have 50% weightage. Current affairs also will have 50% weightage when your exam is happening. Okay, so for that again same WhatsApp number. So now we will go to the first article, which is the Adaptation COP28 article. Okay, so as I told, the latest COP summit, the conference of parties of UNFCCC, it happened in Dubai. So that is the COP number 28. So next year it will be COP 29 in some other location. Okay, try to find out which is the location of COP 29. And then you know this Paris Agreement time only, as I told, this African group of negotiators once in 2013 told that we need something called global goal on adaptation, and it was actually accepted in the Paris Agreement itself. Okay, it was accepted in the Paris Agreement itself, but it was just put in paper. There was no protocol, there was no guidelines, there was no like how all we will adapt to it, what are the things we should tell the world, what is the standard, nothing was told. So that since COP 26 and 27, the last two one, okay, COP 26 and 27, they are discussing that we should make a protocol or make something. Now finally in COP 28 they told, okay, we will adopt the framework and we will start making proper guidelines to give to the country. Okay, but again after that they are again stuck. That is what they are discussing here, because they don't know like what to tell different countries, because everybody's national requirement will be different. Some will need flood barriers, some will need cash finance. So everyone's requirement is different, unlike the other thing where greenhouse gas will tell like reduce to this much level, plant these many trees. The mitigation is easier than adaptation. That is the whole summary. Okay, mitigation is easier than adaptation. Okay, so our target in Paris thing was like 1.5 degrees Celsius rise should not happen as per the global global warming, but as per how it is going, it is like at least 2.8 degrees Celsius by the end of the century itself. Temperature will increase. Okay, so that is why now they are telling we are already like doing many things for mitigation, but that is not working. So we should do something for adaptation. Okay, because the global temperature is anyway going to rise no matter what you do, because proper funding or technology is not being given by the developed countries to the developing countries. Okay, so now the main target in this global goal for adaptation, it is as told in the Paris Agreement also, we have to first do assessment of like how much hazards have happened, which countries like having what risk, what vulnerability. So the national level, what are their adaptation plans, policy instruments, and everything by 2030 what all you should achieve, this you should start thinking. Okay, so by 2027 they are telling all the parties, that is all the countries, should have established the multi-hazard early warning system. Okay, meaning like cyclone systems and all, to predict it using technology. You should set up these kind of things, climate information services, and anything which you can help to observe the changes in climate related things and all, that you should set up by 2027. Okay, and as per our MDG, okay, like now you know there is something called SDG, okay, that is the Sustainable Development Goal 2015 to 2030, which you have to achieve. Okay, there are like kind of 17 goals with 169 target. Okay, that is the current one. But before that we had something called Millennium Development Goal from 2000 to 2015. Okay, so that time many things we found out, or the review tells us that whatever global goals you set, okay, the global agreed goals does not trickle down easily from global to national level. Meaning in the COP summit everybody comes, everybody have the discussion things and all, and they set agenda, but it doesn't reach the national level. Okay, the countries doesn't adopt it. It's always in the paper. Main reason is the national conditions, as I told, is different. Each country will have a different requirement. So this one size fits all kind of thing which you make in global plans, that doesn't actually help them, or they don't feel like adopting it. Okay, only in the discussion table it is there. So now it is not very simple to answer whether progress on adaptation has been made. And unlike mitigation of greenhouse gases, as I told, this adaptation does not have a universal metric. Okay, you cannot simply tell plant these many trees or reduce this much carbon dioxide. That is very easy to tell in mitigation. But in adaptation, you have to clearly tell, like, your state has a problem of floods, so do the flood related thing. Or other state has a problem of desertification, you do that. So everyone's adaptation is different. Okay, so some draft discussions document and all they have made, but there also, who will develop them or how much they will develop them, who will review all the countries' issues, this is still not told. Okay, meaning a proper committee is not set. They are just telling you have to make, there should be a 2-year work program. General points are told in different paragraphs, but there is no proper nodal agency or authority assigned, and that is why the author is again telling this may not work out. Okay, this will still remain in paper for many more COP summits to come. Okay, and also the public fund. Okay, the public fund is very less, because these developed countries, they were supposed to give a lot of money. Okay, even in COP 26 they told we will double the overall adaptation finance from 2019-11 by 2025, and it was repeated in the draft decision. Okay, but nothing has been moving. Okay, already there is a gap, adaptation gap and all. If you see $71 billion, these numbers you don't have to remember, but the OECD, that is the developed countries, already has admitted that the combined mitigation and adaptation finance fell short of an annual $100 billion to $83.3 billion in 2020. Okay, so this one line alone, if you want, you can, because they have admitted to it, you can use this line in the questions which comes in GS3 related to the funding of these things. Okay, adaptation and mitigation of the thing. UPSC can directly ask you this adaptation mitigation goals and what is the status of it. Okay, so now as I told, the mitigation is relatively simple and universal metric of carbon dioxide levels you can give and countries will follow it, but developing a standardized metric for adaptation is very difficult. Okay, so many more discussions will be needed to implement it. Okay, see, and one more thing, there is a strong bias in climate financing in favor of mitigation as compared to adaptation. So this one UPSC will put and tell like justify or explain. Okay, so what is this telling? There is a bias in the financing in favor of mitigation, meaning developed countries are ready to pay a lot of money for mitigation, but they are not ready to give a lot of money for adaptation. Why is this? Because mitigation means what? Mitigation means changing to solar energy, renewable energy and all. And this one, who is controlling? USA is controlling the technology. China is controlling the technology. They have solar panels, solar chips, semiconductor manufacturing. So once you tell, okay, we'll give you money to do solar panel, obviously they will take that money and go back to whom? Go back to USA itself to buy the solar panels. So they will get business. But adaptation, if you do, it's like building a flood barrier, building something at the local level, building infrastructure. So that the local level workers itself will do. Like suppose India want to do adaptation, they will not depend on USA. They will not ask anyone. They will do their own adaptation of infrastructure, which we are already doing. Okay, so that is why there is a bias in climate financing in favor of mitigation as compared to adaptation. Okay, that's a one-line thing. The same thing they have told, the reasons. Okay, climate change regime has been largely mitigation centric, meaning always it is discussed in mitigation angle, and rich countries do not gain much as benefits of adaptation are local. Okay, because the benefits of adaptation are local. Okay, but mitigation, they get a lot of business. And again, the split, if you see, now also if $100 is given, $95 goes to mitigation and only $5 goes to the other one. Okay, adaptation. So this has to change. And even in adaptation gap report by UNEP, these things are mentioned, that there is this shortage of adaptation finance to developing countries. Okay, so this data also, if you want, you can see there has been increase. There has been increase like year on year, maybe like if it's 5 billion, they'll make it 6 billion, then they'll make 7 billion. Very, very slow rate they are increasing, and up to 28 billion it reached, the adaptation fund. But overall, if you see, only 34% is adaptation, remaining 66% is this one, other one, mitigation. Okay, so that is what is told, and the author is telling we should again do more and more efforts to have additional adaptation effort. This is the overall article. So hope you learnt a lot of new things here. Now the second article, IMF commented about India's debt, okay, or debt, you can tell debt to GDP ratio. Okay, debt to GDP's ratio will cross 100%. Okay, meaning more than our GDP, our debt will be there. So that comment was not liked by Indian ministries, and Indian finance minister has given a reply to that. Okay, so it's actually a misunderstood thing also, because IMF, what they did is they give a report, or they always have this thing called articles of agreement. Okay, that is right from the 1944 Bretton Woods conference, when the IMF and World Bank was formed. That time itself there was an agreement that IMF will keep collecting data from all the countries, and then they'll keep publishing data like what is your GDP, what is your inflation, what is your deficit. They'll keep publishing it. Okay, and they will always tell the good case scenario, favorable scenario, and also the worst case scenario. So now the worst case scenario alone was pointed out by some these opposition parties and other people and all, and they put it in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and all, started targeting the government. That is what has happened. It's not like IMF told India will be like ruined or something. IMF just, as usual, put the good case, bad case, but these people took the bad case alone and told like this is India's current situation. Okay, so this basic things about this article of agreement of IMF, and then the little bit data is what we'll see here. So Finance Ministry issued a statement about this position taken by IMF in one of the article, that certain presumptions have been made taking into account possible scenarios that does not reflect the factual position. Okay, so IMF always check the shock situation, like what if a recession comes, what if India's something collapse, what if one more pandemic comes. So like that worst case they will tell. So they told by 2028, if such scenarios come, worst case, okay, 100% debt to GDP will become, okay, that's a worst case scenario, and that is written for every country. Okay, if you take USA, UK and China, it is not just 100%, it is written 160% debt to GDP, 140%, 200% debt to GDP. That is much more worse than India's case. So it's a general thing. In fact, India's, if you take the central plus state government, it is 81% debt to GDP ratio. Okay, and it was initially 88 2 years back. So we have actually improved, and as per the current growth, we will reduce it to again 70%. Okay, so we are going in a positive trend only. So instead of looking the reality, just that worst case scenario was taken by some people who want to just blame the government for some reason, took it and spread it so much in the social media and other places that India's image for a little bit dampened. Okay, so that is what happened. And so Finance Ministry has told this, but the author told these kind of reports you should not react this much. Okay, because some people based on their agenda will keep doing. By replying, you are actually giving more attention to it. Okay, instead your action should speak louder than words, and you should try to reduce the debt and then show the result instead of replying to these kind of comments. Okay, because people will keep commenting no matter what good you do or what bad you do. People will keep commenting. So India or the globe, whatever shock they face, whatever happen, crisis happen, pandemic happen, India currently is going good. And in the broader picture also, IMF is telling India's financial position has actually improved over the past year. Okay, so that is a general statement, but this and all was not there in media. In media, only that worst case scenario was taken into consideration, and that worst case is very good actually compared to China or UK or US. Okay, we are doing much better than them. This is the overall article, and this is the only two articles we had to discuss today. Okay, so now again, WhatsApp me and try to get this 132-day study timetable, because more than close to 10,000 MCQs you will solve, and study means you will obviously should be able to clear the prelims. Okay, and follow these editorials and current affair, and for the goodies also come and contact in the same WhatsApp number. Okay, whichever it is, current affairs or test series or goodies, everything you have to come to the same WhatsApp number. Okay, 7200 681 675. Okay, you can come and message me, and then you can watch like lot of lectures are there, but provided that you watch the free foundation first. Okay, and follow on Instagram also, we are putting a lot of posts there. I'll come up with the next video. Thank you and have a nice day.